sacrificed so much to make the iPhone Air the thinnest iPhone ever. But were the sacrifices actually worth it? With a thickness of just 5.6 millimeters and a weight of just 165 grams, the iPhone Air is impressively slim and light, especially considering the fact that this has a 6.5-inch 120Hz display that goes up to 3000 nits of peak brightness. And just right off the bat, this is unlike any iPhone I've previously ever held in my hand, and you need to check one of these out for yourself if you just want to get an idea of how slim and just absolutely nimble the iPhone Air actually feels. Now, there are 4 areas where the iPhone Air does not sacrifice in despite its thinness, and the first one, like we talked about before, is the display. The second one is that it's running the A19 Pro chipset, the same one as the more expensive iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. The third one is that even though it only has a single rear camera, it's the same 48 megapixel wide sensor that we get on the iPhone 17. And the fourth one is the durability, because even though this is the thinnest iPhone Apple's ever made, apparently it's also the most durable they've ever made, because the frame is still titanium, except it's polished this time compared to last year's more matte feeling titanium. And overall, it just doesn't feel like a phone that's bound to break or even bend. But even though it's been like a minute since I turned on the iPhone Air, I can already feel one of the sacrifices, and that's the heat management, because this phone is already starting to get quite warm. Now, what's cool about the iPhone Air is that because of how thin it is and because all of this part here is battery, the actual computer and the smartphone components are in this little camera plateau area, which is also really hot. And Apple's also claiming that the battery life is going to be as good as the iPhone 16 Pro from last year, despite the fact that it has a physically smaller battery, but we're going to have to wait and see how that goes in actual real world testing. And like we saw before, there's only one rear camera on the back, no ultra wide, no telephoto, and there's only one speaker on this phone as well. There's no stereo speakers because there's actually no physical speaker at the bottom. There's just the earpiece speaker at the top, which is also your amplified main smartphone speaker as well. You also lose the physical SIM card option on the iPhone as well, because despite the fact that some areas in the world still have physical SIM cards for the iPhone 17 and 17 Pro, the iPhone Air is worldwide eSIM exclusive. But despite the actual spec downgrades on the iPhone Air, I can still see why people will be drawn to this, because it just feels so different in the hand. It's not something you'll find with basically any other iPhone. And when you compare the form factor of the iPhone Air compared to the 17 Pro Max, which got even thicker this year, the iPhone Air just feels less like a phone and more like you're holding a display in your hand. But my question to you is, would you pay $1,000 for the iPhone Air? Because even though it has a lot of sacrifices, the intangible benefits of having such a thin and light device can't be overlooked.